Coming to you live from downtown Detroit, this is Benzinga's PreMarket Prep with your host, Joel Elconin.
This is a volatile puppy here, isn't it?
And Dennis Dick.
I'm bidding a penny. I will buy the stock for a penny.
With everything that you need to start your trading day.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to this final day show of the week. I'm Spencer Israel here with Joel Elconin and Dennis Dick on PreMarket Prep today. Our earnings, I feel like this was the busiest earnings day of the week. We got a CBS, we got Deere, and we got a lot of food stocks, Coca-Cola as well, JM Smucker. So we'll cover the earnings parade as well. We'll talk about what looks like to be a morning downgrade on Apple from Raymond James. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about RIOT maybe, moving off of the recent CNBC report that just aired a few minutes ago. And our guest today, Victor Anthony from Aegis Capital. I've got some burning questions for him about Match and Twitter and Facebook. So we'll talk to Victor Anthony at 8:35. Joel, tell us how we're doing this morning in the S&P futures.
Yeah, a strong close equals a strong open. We traded up all the way to 2746.75. I really have nothing up here, folks, until 2763 at your 9-day high. Your pre-market low, 32.50. That's just below your close at 34 even. So could get a little downside if, in fact, we do take out that level. We have crude continuing to rally up 28 cents at 61.45. Gold in the green, 13.59.10, up 380. Silver just down a penny at 16.79. And Bitcoin just dancing around the psychological 10,000 level. We do have it trading up just a little bit at 99.06. And Dennis, how you doing this morning?
In a fast market,
What do you got? What do you got going?
To trade.
What do you?
It's not a fast market like last week, but I was trying to make a couple trades right before starting the show there. So
shorting.
You know how it is. Got to trade. Got to pay the bills, buddy.
All right. Got a lot of earnings. So do we want to do any new stocks, or would you like to start
with RIOT? Yeah, I want to start with this RIOT stuff because this is a CNBC story just breaking just a little while ago here, and RIOT is getting absolutely annihilated in the pre-market. It's down over 12%. Tell us, what did CNBC say here, Spencer? What did they discover?
It was a rather short story. What they did was they went to the hotel in Boca Raton, Florida, where RIOT said they were having their shareholder meetings. They went there, and there were no such meetings scheduled. The hotel didn't know what they were talking about, and so that happened. Then they went to
They go there for a meeting, and there's no meeting.
Well, the meeting got canceled
twice.
Both times. It got canceled the night before, and the hotel said there was never any record of a meeting, never any room booked under the name RIOT Blockchain. So then they went to the residence or offices of a large investor, where they ran into by chance the CEO, who wouldn't talk to them off camera. He wouldn't talk to them on camera. So, but then they released some statements and yada yada yada. But it was a rather short report. It was like a 5-minute report, but it was interesting just that they actually went down there and really couldn't find anything. I think they're going to have a longer report later in the day. I'm not positive.
So it sounds to me like, is that what the market is speculating? Is that there's some fishy stuff going on here when they have meetings and scheduled, and then there actually is no meetings? Are they thinking like, is the market thinking like this is just not even real, the operations? What are they jump? Are there any conclusions being jumped to here?
Well, what they did, the reason they went to that hotel is because that was the hotel that the company had said in press releases and filings that's where the shareholder meeting was going to be. And the fact that the hotel said there's never any room booked under the name RIOT Blockchain is fishy. So I don't know.
I think so too.
It's a little fishy. So let's wait and see how this shakes out.
What was their original name, Joel? And you did a story on this back in the day when they changed their name and they came from being, what were they, a drug stock?
It was Bioptics. The name was Bioptics.
They had a couple names, Spencer.
Oh, they had a few names, right?
Yeah, Bioptics, the Nexus. But
funny stuff going on here.
Yeah. But is this news? I mean, is this breaking news? I mean,
you were saying there's always funny stuff going on here.
Yeah, a biotech company. So to me, this is not news, and they're getting credit for whatever for knocking it down a couple stakes here, down 15-20. But no, I mean, this is not news to me. But let's just take a look. Pre-market trading. If you want,
you knew there was going to be no shareholder meeting.
No, I did not know that.
It sounds sketch. It sounds like boiler room. You know, they got it all set up there, and there's something going on. Oh, there's no meeting, and there's never a meeting scheduled.
How about
maybe I don't want to invest in this supposed blockchain company that has meetings scheduled, but they were never really scheduled. So a lot of funny stuff going on.
Well, they also caught the guy that sold the $900K worth of stock.
Where'd you sell that at? Hi.
He said he needed to do it for tax purposes, and then they had what's a young lady's name that was doing the investigation? Michelle Cabrera Caruso. He was like, he closed the door trying to get away from her when she was
just breaking. Qualcomm rejects the Broadcom offer. Just to let you know.
Okay.
Qualcomm reject. So that just broke about 3 minutes ago. So I just wanted to say that. But
it's not moving now. Well, is this shaking you out?
Go back. Continue on the riot. It's not really. Qualcomm's actually trading up on it, believe it or not. Okay. Everybody knew they were going to reject it.
No, I just was going to say
it's just sketch though, Joel. No.
Oh yeah, it's good. I mean, I'm initiating coverage with a target of 0. I mean.
Then that's a joke. We don't really have coverage.
We don't coverage.
Give recommendations on.
You can know, Dennis, right? Because
I'm putting 0 of my money into something, and when they have a shareholder meeting scheduled and they go there and there's no shareholder, there was never one scheduled at all. It's fishy. I don't invest in fishy. Maybe it's real. Maybe there's some excuse. Maybe there's some. We can always give them the benefit of the doubt. I have a lot of doubt here, though.
Dennis, can't you do ratings on stocks because of your CFA designation? You can.
No, I don't do it. I don't want the liability. Okay. So I don't rate stocks. All I do is give opinions. My opinion on this thing is I don't want any part of it.
Exactly.
And the market doesn't seem to want any part of it this morning either. It's trading down 10% on this news. $15. We can do a technical on anything.
Really? Do I have to?
Do it.
Well, there's great support at 0. Pre-market lows 15. And 1040 was the low on February 6th. And back in January of 2016, this thing was trading at 60 cents. So pick your poison here. Andrew Left nailed this one for sure. So it was one of his good calls as well.
When did Andrew Left? Can we go to the pro and find out when Andrew Left dogged the stock? Because it was near the highs, wasn't it?
Yeah, I can tell you when. I can almost give you the exact date.
Andrew Left is the eternal bubble burster, though. He makes top.
December 19th or 20th.
You got it.
It's not like he's calling it. He just makes the top happen. Like he can make it happen.
Okay, let's talk about real stocks. Powerful. Let's talk about real stocks.
All right, let's talk real. We got real earnings here. Coca-Cola. Look at Coke. Everybody. Warren must have really been drinking a lot of Cokes there last quarter because Coke has good numbers. Spencer, details. How many pops did Warren Buffett drink?
I don't know that many. I just know that they made 39 cents. That was the EPS last quarter. That was the estimate. Sales of 7.5 or 7.4 billion dollars. So fine numbers there. Fiscal year guidance. EPS $2.06 to $2.10 versus a $2.01 estimate. That's a good number. That is driver this morning.
Joe C says Buffett makes bottom, Left makes tops. That's so true. That's one of the coolest things out. That's great to remember that, Joe C. Buffett does make bottoms and Left makes tops. Sorry, we had to go back to that. But Coca-Cola here trading up $1.22. Joel, you're like, wow, it's a big move for Coke on the pre-market show. You were itching about shorting this thing.
Yeah, I'm very disappointed with
short
you.
It?
I thought you wouldn't. I thought you would have 10,000 shares on, Dennis. I'm a little disappointed.
You want me to come in here and short the top? You want me to call tops?
Well, come on, Dennis. In Ratchet, looking back here, don't you think there's going to be some size in the book, right? To hold this thing down at the open a little bit.
Let's go look in the book. We're going to look at the book.
I bet you this thing doesn't lunch bet here. I say it doesn't open over 46.30.
Well, it's 46 right now, so that's not a very fair bet. I would say if you're going to say open over something, you should give the current price to be a fair bet. There's some size in the book. It's traded 100,000 shares already, though. So obviously by 9:30, it's going to trade significantly more. I don't see anything jumping out at me really holding. I see a couple 20,000, 30,000. There's actually somebody selling 40,000 down at 45. So somebody's got a marketable limit out there for the open. But I don't see a ton of size in the book. It could fill up more, though.
Okay.
So remind us to go back, check the Coke book after. The one reason why I'm scared to fade stocks is this market right now is just wicked hot. And what I mean by that is, who would have thought, just go to a stock like Apple. Who would have thought Apple would almost kiss $150 5 trading sessions ago, and now is up here at $172.84 on no news. So stock just rallied 24 points on no news. And you could have said, oh, this is, a ridiculous move when the stock rallied the first $10, then rallied another $10. Now it's trying to do the last $10 to make all-time highs. The market is just wicked and strong right now. It's, obviously yesterday, again, we rally another 30 handles.
Yeah, wow.
I mean, this market is just so hot that I don't want to get in front of the freight train. So I'm going to use the Nick Shaheen saying and say, this thing is too hot right now for me to come here and short, but too high for me to chase.
Okay, so
sitting on my hands at Coke at 46.
Okay, so you owe me a steak dinner and a lunch, right?
Yeah, he tries to put a bet in there, even though I set him out. I'm like the guys on, I can just imagine Joel pitching the Shark Tank and Kevin O'Leary, and they'd be saying, I'm out. And Joel would be like, so, you want to have how many?
So what you're saying is you're in.
To, drag him out there, pull the curtain, get him out there, drag him out, the bouncer's coming out and get him out of there. But
okay, well, I know you're not.
Joel. At least you make me laugh.
High of the day's in. I'm just telling you that. You missed the high of the day. Okay.
What was the high? What's pre-market high?
Pre-market high in Coca-Cola when we started the pre-market show, and I begged you to get out there. 46.47.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the high of the day is in too. It's a big move for Coke, so I will give you that. If you put a gun to my head and said you got to make a trade on this thing, it would probably be on the short side.
Okay.
Just because it is a big move for Coke, but I'm just scared right now on this market because everything seems to just get more and more irrational. Right now, it's like the fear of, we turned into the fear of losing out, FOLO. It turned right back into the fear of missing out in literally 1 week. So everybody was like, selling every stock, get out, this is the crash, this is it. And this was like literally last Friday, 1 week ago. And now they'll buy every stock. I mean, they do it all backwards. And
question
now, Mark Chaikin made a good point yesterday saying you want to buy these things up here now after they've all rallied, and we're going to go to Apple here in a second because there is some ratings news in Apple. But man, you look at the thing, it goes from 180 down to 150 and you think, this is the correction. In literally 1 week, it gets almost all of those losses back. Now you want to buy it up here near all-time highs after just what we saw. I can't do it.
Dr. J wants to know, do we ever go out to dinner, or are these just paper trades?
Joel bankrolls it. Like he goes again and again and again, and he'll get more bets. Actually, I guess I'm bankrolling Joel because sometimes he puts himself in the whole 5-6 lunches, and I don't collect. But we do get him every once in a while.
I did take you out for a steak dinner.
2 steak dinners. I think we're even on lunches.
Okay, I owe you 1 steak dinner, and I did take you out once to.
What do you know? That's 2 steak. Oh no, you're right. You got me on that Twitter 1 day trade, and that was. We gotta watch and look at the tape there because you're not supposed to be having day trades on steak dinners. Day trades are for lunches. So I might have to appeal that one.
You'll have a chance.
I'll go to the trading appeals.
You'll have a chance next Friday, right? Because you'll both be out of town. So
that's true, actually. You owe me a steak dinner. We're gonna go to the Cavs game next Friday. Next Thursday night, Joel and I are at the Cavs game. We got sweet. It's gonna be sweet.
Yeah, if do we have any Cleveland listeners, let us know. You can come by and we can sign some autographs.
Yeah, everybody wants Dennis. Everybody wants my autograph for sure. All right, let's go back to the next stock. Deere reported here this morning. DE is trading up $2.69 in the pre-market. Deere right back up here near all-time highs too. It's funny. All these stocks, we were talking about 10% correction last week, and now we get so many stocks approaching all-time highs again. This market's so resilient.
I'll read the numbers real quickly. Deere, $1.31 versus $1.20, and sales of 6.91 for $6.42 billion. So blowout Q1 numbers there for John Deere.
Stock trading up a bit, but it has really run into this report. So blowout numbers, and if you had normal markets, it'd probably be up significantly more, but we kind of already run up into it. We were 140 in the crash there, a little mini crash there from last Friday week ago, $148, up $20 since then. Running up into the report. They really want, and it can keep going. Don't kid yourself. I mean, this market is hot. This can continue to go, but you see those numbers, you think, oh man, only up 1.6%. What's going on? It ran up a lot in the report.
But it's not backing off this pre-market high after hours high.
Nope, it's not backing off. Full disclosure, I do have a small short position in deer here. I'm long cat. I did the long cat, short deer, exotic pair trading.
And with a little bit of spoos in there too, or a little bit of
spider.
Yeah.
A little bit of XLI.
Yeah.
XLI, and it's got 2.5% deer. I had to get really creative here.
Yeah, usually gets creative on his losing trades, but anyways. This is holding up near the pre-market high. After hours high was 69.93. Currently trading 69.60. May have some paper at 170 as well. Looking at the daily charts, really nothing to lean on here if you are shorting it. January 31st high was 170.68. And then your all-time high in the issue is a little bit above that. A nice double top at 171.95, 171.95, and 171.96.
Found out a few more of these stocks that reported here. Shake Shack. We had Mark Shakin yesterday with the call. He came on the show and said, I got a short for you guys, and it's Shake Shack. Stock was trading up in the 41 handle when he said that. It is in the 39 handle. So instant money if you're following Mark Shakin there from the show there yesterday. You'd be up $2 here. What'd they report?
Yeah, Mark does not always give us short ideas. So that was a nice one, nice call for him.
He's right.
I'll give it.
You guys start getting more short ideas from this guy. He knows what he's talking about.
I'll give you the numbers. Q4 adjusted EPS 10 cents versus a 6-cent estimate. So that's a good number. Sales of 96.9 versus $92 million. So good Q4. The fiscal year sales guidance coming in a week though. The expectation was $461 million. What they're actually looking to sell this quarter or this year is $444 to $448 million, and comps are going to be flat. That's what they see. So
that doesn't sound good to me when comps are flat on something that's supposedly a growth stock and something that's trading with a multiple, 80 or 90 or whatever the hell that multiple is now. And like I said, I was talking with Mark yesterday on the show. I'm scared about this company because I went in there and the burger is fantastic. It was really good, but two things. One, they didn't give me enough fries. So I had the burger combo, so a hamburger, fries, and I had a beer, and it was $15, which is a lot of money. And actually it was more than $15. I think it was like $16 or $17. So burger, fries, beer was like $15 or $16. And I left hungry because I'm a pretty big guy, 215 pounds. I'm a pretty heavy guy. And they didn't give me enough fries. How cheap are fries? Like, make sure I leave full if I'm paying $16. So I left hungry, and it was expensive. It was really expensive. The burger is excellent, but it's too much money, man.
They brought the New York prices to Detroit, and I don't like it.
It's too much money.
I don't like those New York prices.
Pay $16 for a hamburger. Spencer, completely agree with you.
Well, they're a New York chain, so they just brought the same New York prices over. It's expensive. That's what I'm saying.
It's too much money. Joel, what do you think? It's too much money, isn't it?
Sometimes, we talk about fundamental. Well, we talk about a lot of technicals and everything. And then you talk about fundamentals, but sometimes it's just the eyeball test, and going to a place. And I thought the burger, when we went out last week, I thought the burger was really wimpy too. It was a small burger and $11.
It wasn't big. It's a tasty burger, but it's not a big burger.
No, not at all.
Yeah, they're not giving me enough food.
Yeah,
not for you're paying $16. I want to leave full.
Okay.
So you know what? I don't like the stock at all. If they're going to have these kind of pricing, I don't think it works anywhere except major cities like New York or Manhattan that will pay that kind of price. Yeah. They're not going to pay in Detroit. Mark Shakin said they're not paying it in Philadelphia. I guarantee you they're not playing it in the small rural towns. There's no way. Like, you get down to like Florida, where people are eating for $6-7 for their lunches. No way it works down there. Maybe in Miami or maybe in a major city, but not in the smaller towns. So where's your expansion possibilities then? So I don't know. I don't like the Shake Shack here at all from a fundamental standpoint. Technically speaking, you can say you got this 38 level here. It's got to hold. I mean, anything can stay hot for a while. It's got a good story. They're nice looking restaurants, but too expensive, not enough food. That's my bottom line.
I did get a free burger and shake there once, though. We won't go into that story.
You work it, Joel. You know how to work it.
Our pre-market low is 38.50, bounced up to 39.25. You are taking out the low from the last two sessions. Let's see, he got a low at 38.17. That coincides. Oh no, that's just below your after hours low of 38.50. The recent low of the move on Friday, when everything kind of hit the fan, is 37.60. I don't know if we're going to see that today. In order to get back into yesterday's range, that's not going to happen. Well, maybe get to short this thing on a gap. 39.81. That was the low from
$40.
yesterday.
Yeah, if you can get that psychological 40, get a short off on it, maybe. Takes out, put a stop. You've got to watch, because sometimes these things can get funny on earnings and they can start taking it out. I wouldn't want to see it start taking out 40 and then start finding bids above 40. But getting the upper 39s, say I'm going to lean on 40, maybe play from the short side. But, how much, is fundamentals going to play into this? The analysis that we just did is obviously a long-term analysis.
Exactly.
It's not just specifically on this earnings report, but I just don't like seeing same-store sales not growing. And I don't see where the expansion possibilities are. So that's why I'm out. Shake Shack, I'm out.
Okay. All right. S&P's futures got a little bit of a leak here, Dennis. We are now 10.75 points off that after hours high of 46.75. Just, nothing to get alarmed about here. Still trading.
I'm alarmed.
Still trading in the green here by 2 points. We got your close of 34 even. That could be a tester for Chester. And then the pre-market low of 32.50. Now, if we take out 32.50, man, we do have some considerable downside. I could see 27.20, but at this point, we're still holding green.
We're trying to hold on to the green here, but like you said, we are leaking here, and it's been a hell of a run. So you want to see this market hold up and actually stay green on the day, or you could get a little give back day. And it's a lot of people sitting on some profits from the last week, so it's not it wouldn't be out of the realm to think that there could be some profit taking one of these days. Just putting up my sheet here, just look at what else is on my sheet. From an earnings perspective, there's quite a few still. Campbell's, let's go soup stock, CPB. Trade down $1.50 in the pre-market. Stock always miss, or what? What's the numbers?
Oh, yeah, a lot of food stocks today. Campbell's $1 EPS versus an 81-cent estimate sales of 2.18 versus 2.16 billion. So good Q2 numbers they're raising. Also, their fiscal year EPS guidance from $2.95 to $3.02. They're raising it about 8 cents. So that's going to come in at around $3.10 to $3.17 for again, that's the fiscal year EPS. So raising some guidance.
What's the problem here? Why is stock trading down $1.50? Somebody's saying, I'm just looking at some other analysis saying this was tax stuff, why they beat. So they don't like it. When you get a little tax benefit in there, that's maybe not exactly why, you want to see a stock beating. Anyways, trade down 3%. So can't argue with the tape. There is some support. I mean, you're kind of in the middle of nowhere here, $46, but I'll argue yesterday's low, 46.12.
Yeah, and also, 46.12. I mean, this had a little nice run into the report. I like the $46 area as well, Dennis. That represents a 50% retracement. You had to bump off the low 43.50 on the 6th. You hit 48.10 yesterday. That coincides. Well, actually, there's a lot of lows here at 46. 590, 591, 6.25.
Means we got to look at the book.
Yep. But it's probably too far away, Dennis, for Campbell.
That book's actually giving you more levels than it used to. Let me go see. What are you looking at? Which number? 46?
Yeah, $46.
Oh, it's empty. Book's empty right now.
Well, get in there. 46.
Book's empty. I don't see much at all on either side. So it's early here yet. Book could fill up a little bit more, but right now that book is empty.
Shorts are probably a little bit happy about this too. After the run up, a lot of green candles. So battle of line of control is 46. Just real quickly here, Fuzzy was asking about pivot points. And I just real quickly, I won't go into detail. A lot of people will look at a pivot point on a chart. Like I've heard Red Dog and also Nick Shaheen, like they'll say like 46 is the pivot here. It's not a mathematical number, but what they're saying is, man, that was good support. It's a 50% retracement. There's 4 lows in that area. That's the pivot point. If it holds 46, I'll look to it for the long side. But if it takes out 46, I'll either, cover my long and go to short. And then I look at pivots. I figure daily pivots more in the traditional manner with the pivot point formula. I don't know if anyone's familiar with it. Spoos go red on the session here, by the way.
Spoos are, they were starting to get a
I bet you we're going to get some selling balances here in a few minutes. But just Google the pivot point formula, the daily pivot. Any time frame you can do, daily high, daily low, daily close divided by 3. And it's usually a better number if it coincides with a number or it's by its closing price. But we could go into that more detail perhaps in a special session for our members.
I'm just trying to trade here for a second here as the spoos are going red, but we're going to jump over into KHC Kraft Heinz to get those numbers. I believe they reported.
Yep,
they were due to report.
They did. 90-cent EPS versus 95-cent estimated sales of 6.88 billion versus 6.92 billion. So light on the Q4 numbers for Kraft Heinz.
All right, I'll take a look at this one while Dennis hits some bids. Kraft Heinz. Kraft Heinz. Oh, wait, I just want to check Coke real quick. See how Coke's doing. 45.88. All right, looking at KHC. Trading down in the pre-market, right on the low of the session. Pre-market low, 71.60 right there.
I'm seeing 71.50 on my chart.
I stand corrected.
Okay, so 71.50 is where. And what about daily?
Looking at the daily here, you had a triple bottom at the 70.70 area, so could be some support there. The actual low of the move is 70.25. So we'll see what happens. See if it can found buyers 4 to 5 sessions in the mid 70 handle. Let's see if that happens again today.
Keep it going, guys. I've just got a fast market here going. So let's go. There's a couple more earnings reports. You guys can handle this.
Hey, listen, I got you trading on one hand. I got Joel coughing up along on the other hand. So I'm doing the show now. I am the captain now. All right. I want to go to.
We just switched over captains.
I want to go to James Smucker. I was commenting.
I'm trying to keep the boat from sinking over here.
I was commenting to Joel on Smuckers this morning. It seems like they always beat. That was just my impression of it. I'll give you the numbers on the SJM. Q3 adjusted EPS of $2.50 versus $2.13. So a nice beat, 250 versus 213 on the Q3 EPS. Sales 1.9 versus 1.89 billion. So a slight beat on that number. They are also raising their guidance for the fiscal year. EPS guidance being raised by about 40 cents, which is making it come in higher than the estimate. So a very good fiscal year EPS number for SJM. And Joel, what is happening in the chart?
We had a real nice pop that has faded. Very little volume traded up here at 127, even only 768 shares. Now you've come back down, still trading up 235. I don't know. It's hard to find the level in this one because you came down pretty hard off the 132.76 level. So the numbers that come into play, I'll just give you an intermediate number. And there's a pair of highs no, there's not even a pair of highs. There's one high at 125.51 on February 2nd, then another daily high at 126.67. So if you guys are wondering what I'm looking at here, when a stock goes up like this and it's a kind of a thin one, I have a data window on my trade station and it tabular list all the daily highs. So if a stock's moving up, I'd like to find out going back in history where the daily highs were. And if there's 2 or 3 highs at the same level, then I'll give it more significance. But here, they're just single highs, really until you get into the 131 handle. And those highs were at 31.13, 31.75. But Campbell's soup is not going there today.
It's
James Smucker.
Yeah,
right,
okay.
Okay. Just making sure we're on the same page.
And balances are kind of small. They just got them in here at 830. 145,000 sell Bank America. That's significant. Coke 65,000 to buy. We know Coke off the good earnings was going to have a buy and balance there. Twitter 29,000 to sell. I'm looking at Berkshire B 30,000 to buy. That's significant for Berk.B. That's actually trading up in the pre-market too, but probably going to start leaking with the SPOO leak. JP Morgan, 28,000 to buy. Walmart, 22,000 to buy. GE, 30,000 to sell. It's kind of mixed. Boeing, here's a big one, 45,000 to buy in Boeing. That's significant because it's a $358 stock. So that's significant to keep an eye on that one. But they're fairly small here, so not much happening from balance land. SPOO's trying to rally here a little bit off settlement there. They're trying to hold on, but definitely some weakness overall here in the market right now.
You know how we put emphasis on daily or, pre-market highs and lows? Well, they took it down. They took it down and they matched the pre-market low at 32.50. That was made much earlier in the session. Now you rebounded back up at 36. So I guess you wouldn't get done on a 32.50 bid, but a 32.50 sell stop would have been executed. So a little bounce there. Maybe someone is anticipating. We had some numbers, some housing starts, housing permits, U.S. import prices rose 1%.
Hey, yeah. Brent wants to hop in here. Brent,
let's hear the Brent.
What do you got for us?
Hey everyone. Brent. Thanks for letting me come on for a sec. Hey, Dennis. Hey, so we got a little bit of an inflation issue here, I would say. Joel was just going to bring up those numbers. We got the import price index and the export price index. They were both sharply higher than expected. The import price index was up 1%. Economists were looking for an up 0.6 reading, and the export price index was up 0.8%. Economists were looking for about a 0.3% increase. It seems like there is a lot of inflation that's kind of circling us right now. We had a concerning inflation indication a couple days ago, and the market got rocked on it. We're not really getting that price action right now. The market actually, the S&P 500 futures actually bounced off of those numbers. But I don't come on the show a ton, and I thought this was, we
want you on the show.
I know, but I just trying to point out that it's a sort of special occasion when I come on the show, meaning I have some meaningful information to share. And this inflation thing, it's kind of getting me a little concerned here.
Yeah, well, the reason Brentster, this is like his busy time here, with the earnings, scanning the globe to bring you the best in sports. I mean, the best, the best in business. So a lot of the stuff here, like when you see me like go on mute and turn away, I'll be like, Brent, dig, what's going on? I'll say, Joel, nothing's going on. You're imagining things again.
No,
but
I don't think you're imagining things.
No, it's your eyes. You see things in price, and it's just, to get the validation. But we're going to be working Brent more into the show here in 2018.
Yeah, later, everyone.
Thanks, Brent.
Okay, so 2 minutes here. Just wanted to move away from earnings just for a quick second here. Let's talk Jack in the Box. It's getting a bid here this morning. Spencer, we got some news. JANA Partners increasing their stake, looking for board seats. What's up?
A raised stake. It was 1.09 million shares at the end of the last quarter. Now it's 2.14 million shares, which comes out to a 7.3% stake from JANA in Jack in the Box. And yes, they are looking for some more board seats.
JANA says shares are undervalued. They are going to push for board changes or a sale. And that is why the stock is trading up in the pre-market here. It's a stock that has been in the doldrums a little bit there. So watch out for this one because we kind of broke out a little bit yesterday. And there's some room to 90 here. So I know we're trading up 87.32 in the pre-market on light volume, but there's definitely room to the upside. And when you've got something like this happening and you got a major shareholder there saying maybe push for a sale or something, we saw a couple restaurant stocks get bought recently there. So it's not out of the realm that there could be a buyer for Jack out there. And I think you might see this thing lift more. So I know it's trading up 2% on this. You think, oh, what's the big deal? I think there's room to 90 even today.
Dennis looking at a psychological level. I'll just give you two daily levels. 91.17 was your high in the Feb 1st and or Feb 2nd, and your monthly high made on the first day of the month, 92.09. Is it bid there, Dennis? Are people willing to buy it?
No, it's wide. It's really wide. Not much volume. 85.70, 88.95. So we're really wide. Last night we were trading up slightly on this, but again, it was just some odd lots going. So this thing still wants to figure out where it wants to go. I did see one trade at 86.89 last night. So it was getting bid up a little bit last night on this, but not up substantially. But it could be a sleepy mover. So keep an eye on this one. If you can get it on the cheap, it might be an opportunity.
All right, 8:35. We're going to take a quick break and grab Victor Anthony from Aegis Capital. We'll be right back with Victor. Welcome back, everyone. This is PreMarket Prep. I'm Spencer Israel, Joel Elconin, Dennis Dick, and we are on the line now with Victor Anthony from Aegis Capital. Victor, how's it going today?
It's good. It's good. I'm looking forward to a long weekend.
Yeah, that's right. We haven't even discussed that yet on the show. 3-day weekend, no market on Monday. That'll be fun. But speaking of today, I want to look at your coverage. You cover Match, and I want to ask you about that. To start off with, they just reported earnings a couple of days ago. They basically, in my mind, pulled a Facebook, and in that they just copied a feature from their biggest competitor, or one of their biggest competitors. What was your reaction to the Match earnings report?
It was, clearly surprising, and surprising. Tinder's numbers just continue to grow rapidly and above expectations, and so my expectations is that it'll continue to grow, over the coming quarters. But it was the numbers are good. They beat consensus estimates. Like I said, Tinder numbers were extremely strong. The guidance, I think, was strong, but also conservative. I think they're planning to launch some new features on Tinder in the back half, and there's some cautiousness, I think, built into the guidance for the second half, and given the tough comps from Tinder Gold. But yeah, I think the quarter was good. There was a meeting that we held, the CEO, Mandy Ginsberg, held with the South Side earlier this week, which was positive. I walked away from that meeting extremely positive in terms of her direction, how she plans to invest her time, which is really to focus on Tinder and growing that business, mainly on international expansion, user and product features, expanding those, deploying capital across, the organization. But she also, mentioned that she was looking to really invest in women-focused features on Tinder. And not sure exactly what she plans to do there. I think there's some chatter in the press about, looking at some of the features in terms of how Bumble has grown and probably replicating that. And, it depends on how that resonates. Maybe they back away from acquiring Bumble. I don't think so. I think, her focus on women-focused features, apart from the fact that she's a woman, I think it's just really just to, I think, put pressure on Bumble and ultimately, lower that acquisition premium. And, I think they'll buy it at some point.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to when they just basically got Bumble's whole thing is women focused, and that's what they're just going after. That they're just doing what Facebook did to Snapchat, just copying that the features with Instagram. But I want to move on to some other areas of your coverage and Twitter, which you have a buy rating on. You upgraded after the last earnings report. It seems to me that Twitter has a bit of an opportunity right now with all of the negative attention, negative press surrounding Facebook coming out and saying that people, they're making these newsfeed changes. People are going to be spending less time they anticipate on the platform, but it'll be more meaningful time, supposedly. Twitter has had a bit of a run here. So give us your thoughts here on this guy.
Yeah, I did upgrade the stock ahead of earnings, not after earnings. But
my mistake.
Listen, I think the quarter was a clear inflection point for the business. And, the reason why I upgraded the stock because, I was speaking to advertisers and the channel checks were coming back positive, telling me that they were looking to allocate an increasing percentage of their budgets, the ad budgets, over to Twitter, solely because of the fact that the ROIs were improving. And so I thought that was a meaningful positive, and that drove me to upgrade the stock. And we saw that in the results. Much better than I expected. I didn't expect the O&O, the owned and operated advertising portion of that business to turn positive, but it did. That's the core business. The one wrinkle in that print, though, is the MAU growth, which stayed flat. And, I think it was, they called that some seasonal factors, some other one-time events. I think it goes back to growth in this current quarter, the first quarter. So I'm not too concerned about it. I think, the move by Facebook to, to really emphasize more user-generated content, I think could benefit them, Twitter, in terms of making them more of a more valuable news resource. So, that plays out over time. I don't think you see the numbers in the next probably 1 or 2 quarters, but over time, I think you'll see some shift over to Twitter in terms of Facebook users just looking for news. So I think overall it's a positive. I think user growth comes back. Advertisers are coming back. I think Noto, when he departed, I think the street interpreted that as a negative, but I felt that, he was leaving Twitter in a really, really good position. And so I think I'm expecting nothing but good things going forward.
We're on the line with Victor Anthony, Managing Director and Equity Analyst at Aegis Capital. I just quick question there. You mentioned like channel checking and talking to advertisers. Can you go into that one a little bit more detail? Because a big question I think a lot of people have on Wall Street is like, how do these analysts do their homework? Are they sitting there, looking at looking at their charts, their point and figure analysis, or doing something like that, which I think is really interesting. Could you just give that in quick detail, please?
Yeah. So you're asking me to give you the tools of the trade, but listen, I don't think an analyst is never going to learn anything sitting at his desk and just looking at spreadsheets and valuation models. You really have to talk to people who are in the field. The suppliers, the buyers. These are all kind of textbook, business school things. And you speak to the people who's doing business, who's selling products on Amazon. You speak to the advertisers who are putting ads on Facebook and putting ads on Snap and Twitter. They're the ones who give you, the insights into how things are performing. If there's issues with the platform, you speak to the users of Facebook. You conduct surveys. So that's a lot of what we do. Just a kind of an overview. It's just when I mention the word channel checks, speaking to the people that use the platform, the people that advertise on the platform as well. So that's kind of how we run our business.
Victor, going back to Twitter here for a second, I know they're one of the final bidders for Thursday Night Football, along with Verizon and YouTube and Amazon. Any insight there?
In terms of
who who could end up winning this contract with the NFL.
I don't know. I don't have any sort of clear insight on that. Listen, I do think video is a huge component of these as far as the service that these platforms are looking to offer to the users, because the video just tends to keep you a little bit more engaged, right? So onto the platform, you saw that when Facebook stated that they were de-emphasize a little bit less video on the core news feed. They have a separate watch tab, but time spent, diminished. So it's a way to increase engagement on the platform. It's a way to increase time spent on the platform. And I think these companies are just looking to use their balance sheets to become a lot more competitive and get more eyeballs onto their platforms. So I don't have any particular insight of who's going to win and who will capture these contracts, but I do expect these digital media platforms to become extremely competitive as far as sports is concerned.
On going over to Amazon real quickly, the stock popped off the news that they're partnering with J.P. Morgan and Berkshire Hathaway to create this healthcare consortium, I guess. When do you realistically though see that having an actual impact on the balance sheet?
Yeah, I don't see that. It's kind of a work in progress right now, and the details are somewhat sparse, and I don't have full information in terms of how these three companies are going to go about these implementing this particular service. But what I do say about Amazon is consistent with their disruptive nature, and I think it's but this one is somewhat different, right? So I think Amazon has had essentially a growth aspect about the business model, to look into different categories, look at different ways that we could expand and grow and service the customer. But this particular initiative tends to have a greater good aspect of it, which is somewhat of a departure from what they're been used to. But there's no clear person I don't think who's better suited than Jeff Bezos. He is an innovator and he's a disruptor, and having his intellectual his intellect added to this whole initiative, I think could be great. Just for people in general, and not just for Amazon.
All right, we've been on the line with Victor Anthony, Managing Director and Equity Analyst at Aegis Capital. Victor, thanks so much for the time. Have a nice long weekend.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Enjoy the weekend.
All right, guys, 8:46, about 15 minutes left in our show this week. Where should we go next?
Market continues to leak. I just want to say, and a lot of times people say, oh, the futures always lead. I can tell you why the futures just sold off 3-4 points. Everything just flipped to heavy sell imbalance. And that's when we had the little fall there in the last 5 minutes. We got now Bank of America, 351,000 to sell. Wells Fargo, 107,000 to sell. Pfizer, 112,000 to sell. AT&T, 143,000 to sell. Verizon, 100,000 to sell. A lot of Dow components looks like with big sell imbalances here right now. These things can change, but as of right now, there is heavy sell imbalances across the board. And I think it's going to drive the market red if those sell imbalances stay. GE, 199,000 to sell. I'm just looking across the board at sell imbalances. I got some institutions just came in and said, look, we want to get out of some stock here on the open, and they sprayed the whole market. And that's why the SPOOs are starting to leak, and that's why the Qs actually just went red for a minute. Now, these things can change. People can come in, there can be other institutions, some can come in and say, buy all these, and they can end up opening up. But as of right now, if we were to open, the stocks are going to open significantly lower, and that's obviously going to drive the S&Ps down. But we don't open for another 40 minutes. A lot of things can happen. But right now, we're looking weaker than these S&P futures would indicate.
And I just want to add a couple other things. It is a Friday. It is options expiration. I'm not sure.
Oh, wow, it is too.
Yep.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Up on us, Joel.
Yep.
Good call.
Yep. So I don't know. It's an early expiration.
Hard to put as much weight into them on the option expiration.
Yep. Also, Dennis, 3-day weekend, right? What happens? Yeah. So not everyone's going to be able to be trading on Monday, but if you're out there, I think the SPOOs are going to be trading Sunday night. So, sometimes some things happen over weekends, and, just be prepared for those kind of factors. We didn't make a new low, but it was an incremental new low here, 31.50. So we're making some new lows and some bouncing. I mean, we've had some wild days here. I mean, I don't know if that's going to, continue. Right now, my focus point is that close, 27.34, trying to stay green on the session. If we do go into rally mode, get a pop off the open, not going to be yesterday's high. They've already made mincemeat out of that, but I'd be looking at mid-range on the session, 39.25 as a potential exit point if you're trying an early long. Big T wants to know, what do you mean? Hard to put as much weight on options expiration imbalances, Dennis.
Because there's so many big players that are going to be coming in with big orders to offset their options positions. So there's basically just a lot more volume on the open. So when you see these big sell imbalances, it's early. A lot of normal days, it's like, oh, there's 351,000 in Bank of America. Nobody's going to come and offset that. On option expiration day, there could be a big player, with just an option positions that might need to buy some stock. And that can come in at the last minute. A lot of institutions hold the cards very close to their vest, and they're going to wait till the last minute to put their orders in. There's a lot more orders coming in on an option expiration day. That's why one day that I would say the opening imbalances don't seem to mean as much when you look at them this early is option expiration day. Jump over here, 8:49. We have a couple earnings stocks we did not cover. Let's go over here to a couple. Let's go to Ryder because that stock actually looks like a guidance miss to me. Really ran up on the close yesterday. I mean, look at this chart. It ran straight up in the last half an hour from 83.50, almost 85.50. Thoughts on R, and Spencer, give us the numbers.
Yeah, the guidance did miss. Q4 EPS $1.37, that beat by a penny. Sales of 1.9 versus 1.84 billion. So good Q4 numbers, but yep, the guidance was bad. Fiscal year EPS guidance $5.40 to $5.70. 5.86 was the estimate there. So a miss on the fiscal year EPS for R.
Are trading slightly down here in the pre-market, but not much is happening. It's only traded 280 shares. Best bid is way down at $74.98. It's offered 84. So it's probably going to be down. Guidance is bad. I would imagine it's going to be down. I can give you a little imbalance look. It is. It's only 100 shares to sell, so it's nothing. I don't know. We're going to see where this thing opens, but price discovery is still definitely happening here in Ryder.
Exactly. Level of control, 82.50 here. Wednesday's low, 82.47. Thursday's low, 82.52. takes that out, you get a buck drop to 81.50, another buck drop to 80.58. So 82.50, and that would be within the range of yesterday. If you do rally back, keep an eye on the 84.74 close, because that was flanked by a close at 84.49. So number of the day in rider here is 82.50. DC1 wants us to take a look at WBC. WAPCO Holding, is that what that some Chinese or Japanese internet company or something? Do we know what that is?
I'm not sure why you would assume that.
I don't know.
No, it's not.
No.
You're thinking of WB? Weibo?
That's
thinking of Weibo.
Yeah.
Oh, Brent says that's a Rochester Hills, Michigan company. I'm surprised Joel didn't know that. All right.
Joel, you don't know your own local companies? Come on.
All right. WBC had earnings, though, so I'll read the numbers out. Q4 EPS, $2 versus a $1.80 estimate. Sales, $934 versus $898 million. Good Q4 numbers. Fiscal year guidance. EPS coming in line. Sales coming in are actually higher than the estimate. So overall, good report for WBC.
The headquarters are over in Belgium, though. So they do have some operations.
Headquarters in Belgium.
Here, but they got a couple of.
We stand corrected.
Rochester Hills, they've even got a couple of
Gotta
stations
put
there.
Brentster in his place here.
Headquarters is in Belgium. They are vehicle control systems.
Okay.
We stand corrected.
Standing up for stakes here on very little volume here. Is breaking out from the 145 area. Boy, this thing can go absolutely anywhere. The closest level that comes into play right now is 47.48. So you're just above that. That was your high on the second, and then things really open up. The high on the fifth is 151.58. But let's see what kind of volume this thing does. It traded $500,000 yesterday, but 300,000 the previous 2 days. So kind of a thinner one, higher price stock. So careful in this one.
Go to a crazier one, which is not crazy this morning, but is Overstock due to report? It was on my list, and now I don't see anything report. So
Overstock? No,
I don't know why my Overstock. It shows up randomly on the list all the time.
Overstock is the 21st. When's that?
All right, so it's not due to report. Wednesday. I was looking at the action. I was like, "There's no way that report, because that thing would be wild on a report." Did we cover LogMeIn, LOGM?
We did not cover LOGM. We'll do that right now. LogMeIn reporting earnings this morning. Q4 EPS $1.20 versus $1.17. I'm sorry, this is yesterday after the bell. EPS beat sales 276 versus 277 million. Mixed Q4 numbers. Q1 guidance. Sales coming in pretty much in line. EPS coming in higher by 7 cents on the estimate. Fiscal year guidance. Sales higher. EPS higher. Much higher.
Ran up into the report heavily. I've actually got their app, so you can use their app to log into your computer anywhere. So you can have your main computer at home, and you can use their app to go and log into your main computer. It's kind of nice.
I've used it too. I've used it with my parents, with my grandparents. Nice. Yep. I mean, I hear you. It's good.
Joel's trying to get
Joel's trying to get
down $4 here. We'd give Joel's technical analysis, but apparently Joel's busy right now.
No, Joel's trying to get Jason. I think Jason uses LogMeIn. Does he? Is that why?
We got Jason. We got Raz coming.
Yeah,
Raz, right? We want to see Raz.
I think so. I'll
gotta see
him.
Oh, but he's not. Do you want to go in Spencer's chair?
I'll pull him up. Raz, you use LogMeIn?
LogMeIn?
Yeah.
In general, in life? I've used it, yes.
Okay. Well, that's what we're asking. We're trying to get your thoughts.
No, that's not.
No. Why? Okay, you do this, Joel.
This is why I want him on the show.
Let's go.
Because we had him on the show when Verizon had earnings, right? Raz, are you listening?
Yes, I'm totally on. I'm on.
Okay. And it was trading, I don't know,
55.5.
55.5.
Yeah.
In the pre-market. And Dennis was choking on a short position.
I remember.
And everyone was making fun of you in the chat. And they were saying, this guy doesn't know anything about stocks here. And it hit 48.95 yesterday.
Yeah.
So I just want to know if you're covering your short, or I don't know if you shorted it, but are you pressing it? I mean,
oh no, Dennis and I were short it. I'm pretty good when it comes to stocks. That's what they say. But then again, I just like to provide info because the stock market became too easy. Just kidding. But the Verizon trade, I don't think it's fully played out, but you have seen a nice drop in
10% drop. It's huge.
Exactly. In a large cap like that, Dennis. So it's one that my thesis still hasn't played out. So what I often do is I sell out or get out of the position before my thesis plays out. And it turns out I was right in the long run. But a 10% drop this quick, I cut half the position. That's the way I played it.
Covering some.
Yeah, covering some. Exactly. Now, Dennis, are you guys paying attention to Riot blockchain at all?
Yeah, we've talked about it on the show. It continues to fall here.
So
what are your thoughts on the CNBC report that they have meetings scheduled, but apparently they don't have meetings scheduled? It sounds a little bit fishy.
Okay, guys.
What's your guys' thought on Riot blockchain?
I'm an expert on Riot blockchain. It's actually funny. Brent Slava, who runs our news desk, what's wrong, Spencer Israel? About 3 days.
To look at the camera. That's all I'm saying.
Camera, okay.
Yeah.
About 3 days ago, I told him Riot blockchain is going to have some skeleton in its closet. Listen, I don't know. I just want to deliver information. I heard these rumors coming out about canceling the annual meetings. Barry Honig, if you go Google him, look at his SEC filings, just look at, I don't give you predictions on what like behind the scenes of a company, but just look at the facts. Barry Honig has taken many companies that were, shell companies and taken them public. Same kind of process. This was whatever the company was, a biotech company, and now it's a blockchain company. So, I know where I am at. Think I was short Verizon, 10 times more short Riot blockchain, and I will be for a long time. So my thesis of the CNBC thing, I had no idea this was coming out today. No idea. I found this out at 8 a.m. and I haven't even seen Brent yet because I wanted to see Brent. And I haven't seen him, and I wanted to tell him, whoa, a chair just fell on me. So I see it now at 10:15. There's gonna be another report, but there's other people investigating Riot blockchain too. This Barry Honig, this guy, he's done a bunch of these. And why did the stock move up? For no reason. Oh, they're going to do some mining of Bitcoin.
Yep.
I mean, Joel, we had a guy at Benzinga that was mining Bitcoin in his basement. Like, I mean, they're not even doing it yet. And Riot blockchain is worth gazillion dollars.
All right. Before we let you go, I think there's something cooking on the desk here.
Oh, I'm handing it off to Mr. Slavs.
Well, no, real quick. Tesla update. Did you get shaken out there at 300?
I definitely got heartburn.
Okay.
Definitely got heartburn. But I still own it.
He's like Warren over there. He holds those things long term.
Yeah, I own Tesla. I'm long and strong. $1,000 my price target. I'm sticking to it. I know there's a lot of things like the Model 3 to the price, all that stuff. And they had, listen, I'm bought in. You guys have me on the record. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm bought in.
I just wanted to
Tesla Riot pair trade going. Short Riot, long Tesla. I like it.
I want to do this show all day. You guys are the best. Spencer, Joel, Dennis, and now I'm handing to Brent.
All right, something's happening. I don't know. No,
he's got his own headset.
Right,
thanks, Raz.
All right, thanks, Raz.
In a little bit.
All right, 8:59 now. We got about a minute left in our show, and that's pretty much it for the day, folks, and for the week.
No,
it's not it. So someone has something. Someone's trying to speak to me, and I don't know what they're saying.
We're in a fast market here on the Benzinga News.
We are in a really fast market.
What's the news?
Something's breaking. Oh, there we go. We got some comments on Riot blockchain. That's what they're trying to tell me. They're trying to talk to me, and I can't really hear. So we got some comments from Riot blockchain. The CEO responded to the CNBC report this morning. He told us this was a garbage biased hit piece. So we reached out to John O'Rourke, and this is a comment directly from the CEO in Benzinga Pro right now. The comment from CEO John O'Rourke told us this was a garbage biased hit piece. So take that.
That's hey, they won't talk to CNBC, but they talk to the Benzinga news desk. Hey, way to dig there, guys. Yeah, so nice. So he's saying no truth to any of this stuff.
Everyone's gesturing at me. I don't really know what they're trying to say, but that's what they're trying to say. They're trying to say that John O'Rourke says that this was a garbage bias tip piece. Good to know. Appreciate the work, news desk. Great job as always. That's it for us today, though. So I would definitely keep Riot on your screens just for at least until the open, see what's happening there, because this is going to be an interesting one this morning. If you want to catch any part of today's show again, you can do that on our podcast or on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Stitcher, or just rewatch the show on YouTube. Benzinga TV is our YouTube channel. Thanks to our guest, Victor Anthony. Thanks to all you who joined us today in our Google chat on YouTube and premarket.benzinga.com.
Real quick, the spoons are continuing to leak here. Yeah, that the selling balances are coming through. Just folks, be careful in this 27-20 handle, because you saw what we did it yesterday in the in the last 15-20 minutes of some of the after hours. So, covering some shorts in that area with some bids, recommend. Really nothing down. It's just funny. Fuzzy mentioned the daily pivot. My daily pivot is 2719.75. That's a good 10 handles away. Who knows if we're going to get there, but just wanted to bring out those levels. Thanks to Brent. Thanks to Raz. Good show. We'll be back on Tuesday, right?
We'll be back on Tuesday. Nice long weekend. Have a good one, folks.